Well, long live the king. I'll be honest, I had a message at around 7:30 a.m. tipping me off that we were going to get some news about the king, and I feared the worst. I actually thought there was a good chance that we were going to be doing a very different show this evening, but no. Good news. The statement came from the palace that King Charles is well enough to resume public duties. But when you get an embargoed press release from the palace, they do often put a question and answer section at the bottom. And this is one that stood out for me, OK? So it said, does today's announcement mean His Majesty's treatment for cancer has been successful or has finished? And the answer is this. His Majesty's treatment programme will continue, but doctors are sufficiently pleased with the progress made so far that the King is now able to resume a number of public-facing duties. There was another one. How much longer will His Majesty's treatment continue? The answer was this. It's too early to say, but His Majesty's medical team are very encouraged by the progress made so far and remain positive about the King's continued recovery. So this is a man who is living with cancer. He's not recovered. He may well not be recovered for some time. And he's not out of the woods yet. Look, here's the thing. The King has advertised now that he will be doing public engagements, and he's going to be going to a cancer treatment centre, for example. There'll be several public engagements in the coming weeks as well. And this got me thinking, really, because in recent times, the anti-monarchists have been out in force, haven't they? They've been trying to ruin the coronation. They're throwing eggs at royals in the wake of the Queen's death. They shouted down with the crown at Queen Camilla as she attended a church service, knowing that her husband was being treated for cancer, and so was Princess Catherine. Now, I know what the Not My King Brigade will have taken from today's news. Oh, good, the King will be in public again. We can have another pop at him. If they do that, I think they're disgusting. My message to the Not My King Brigade is this. If you do that, you're going to be the scumbags shouting at an elderly man with cancer, OK? You're the bad guys here, not him. Get a life, get a job, and wind your necks in, at least for a few months, eh? I'm going to be talking now for a bit more on the King's health from Professor Lawrence Young, Professor of Molecular Oncology. Look, thank you very, very much. From a health perspective, what do you make of today's announcement?
Well, it suggests the King is making good progress. He must be feeling well enough to engage in more public-facing duties, so it's a very positive development.
How protected is he going to have to be? There's talk of him being in a COVID-style bubble if he goes to events like Ascot.
Well, a lot of it depends on where he is in his therapy and what type of therapy he's receiving. So it's difficult to speculate. But clearly, if he's going to go out and about over the next few days and weeks, the medical team must be happy that he can mix with people. He'll just have to be careful. He'll be undergoing regular blood tests and scans to make sure things are all okay, and they must be developing in the right direction for this encouraging news today. But he'll just have to be careful. I suspect most of it will be around him not overdoing it, because he's likely to feel very, very tired. And even though he wants to get out and about and get back to business, I think his medical team will have to keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I suppose, one of the big things of it, isn't it? That he now is actually trying to push the envelope and get out there and go out and about. It seems very reassuring for us to hear from somebody like yourself that actually this is possibly not a case of, you know, the idea that the treatment is going to continue to have a worse impact on him. It is just more his own fatigue as a result of that treatment, which I suppose means that we're heading in the right direction with the King.
Yeah, and this is really important psychologically. I think anybody with any condition, but particularly with cancer, if you're feeling well enough to start to get back to some degree of normality, it has a very important positive psychological impact, and it does really help you get better. So it is a sort of positive reinforcing thing, and it demonstrates to all of us who have or know people who have cancer that you can start to get back to some degree of normal life, and as I say, that helps in your recovery.
And there were a couple of words that were omitted from this press release today. I can completely understand why they would be, OK? Words like, oh, he's in remission, for example, or obviously he's cured, which he's not yet. He is living with cancer, but that is actually very doable nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's common now, and you know, the cancer, like the big C that is the end of your existence, is things have changed. Our attitude to cancer has changed because we can manage it better. And even though in some people we can't cure it, we can keep it at bay. And so for some people, if they can deal with it psychologically, they can live with cancer in the same way that people live with other chronic diseases that need ongoing treatment, like diabetes or arthritis. And so for some people, that is, you know, they can live quite healthy lives into their 70s, 80s, 90s and live with cancer rather than die of cancer.
This is massively more reassuring news than what a lot of people were fearing when people first got wind that there was going to be some kind of announcements about the King today. Professor Lawrence Young there, great to have you on the show. Thank you very, very much.